Hello and welcome, Supreme Commander Forge Alliance Forever, from Fields of Isis on the ladder, and the bounce patch has dropped. So, you can find a video by Petrick explaining many of the changes in depth, and also the patch notes are linked there. And the main thrust of it is T3 land is weaker. It's the main tanks. Sniper bots are slightly different, but mostly the same. Experimentals have about double the build time. They will take a lot longer to build. Gonna have to add a few more T3 energies to get them out. And let's see what else. We have overcharge, which now to do more damage, it will cost you more energy. And overall overcharge will be more expensive. So you'll have to build a few extra energy storages to overcharge high tier units like T3 units. The max damage will be 15,000 damage for about 45,000 energy, and at the low end we'll have about 1,500 damage for 5,000 energy, I believe that's correct. So let's see what the players do now with T3 being a bit weaker. Gonna be quite interesting. We also have some other changes. Beetles do less damage, but they have a much higher radius, a bit more health. They stun, and also you can fit more of them in transports again. And a few other changes. But it will be fun to see what happens to the game now. See what different things people can achieve. And see how much more T2 land gets used. Already from what I've seen, people are actually using T2 land units that they would never have used before. So for this game, we have a Cyber Mirror matchup. And Mephi is being aggressive with his Mantis. And he has a scout on the other side. Montana hasn't sent anything to mid yet, no engineer. He's leaving for mid with his ACU earlier than Mephi, but Mephi's going to be doing fine with this engineer grabbing a lot of mass and also being protected well by the Mantis and Scout. Air a bit faster for Montana. And actually, Mephi also going for a bomber, so that bomber is likely not going to do anything. If Montana's paying attention, you can see him scouting overhead. And will he see the bomber come out? Because he already has the inti. See, he's quite ready for Mephi to go for a bomber because, well, he knows how Mephi plays, and Mephi does like to make early bombers, unlike a lot of people actually. A lot of people will not make the early bomber. Mephi kind of does it quite often. Montana has the inti fast and gets a free kill there, and he's also going to have air control. Mephi only getting his first interceptor now, and there's 2 out, 3 out for Montana, so he should be looking to make a bomber of his own, or even a jester. That would definitely help a lot. This engineer be very good to kill because the ACU is not in mid yet. Should be on his way now. Quite late, I would say, for Mephi. I think that's probably a mistake because this engineer is going to die. And he's going to suffer a little bit, but there's other reclaim to grab with this other engineer as well. Montana only getting his mid reclaim now. And you can see the difference in total mass. That will be made up pretty quickly once he starts reclaiming. One thing worries me slightly is it's only one engineer building power here. But he has been very quick to get this other hydrocarbon, which is nice, but he does need to be building a bit more power. I think reclaiming this stuff here is quite good, but Maybe not this early. I think it's better to have those building stuff, seeing as you have all this reclaim with your ACU, and the music seems awfully loud in my ears for some reason. Montana, I'm quite disappointed, hasn't gone for some aggressive air unit yet. And Mephi just chilling, making some economy. 2 mexes on the way. His ACU is actually going to the top, and he's sending another engineer down to the bottom. You can see a lot of the reclaim is still here, most of it. Reclaim counts now even after Montana has grabbed a lot of mid reclaim, and Montana is moving in to clear out the air of Mephi, and he's making a transport. That's nice. That could do a lot of damage if he drops in here. I'm sure that's what he's going to be doing. There's not really anywhere else to drop. I mean, expansions are definitely not too far away to walk. And I guess we are going to see these units picked up and dropped likely on this side. Where you're further away from the factories, you can drop here and get some kills. And also if you time it right, you'll kill upgrading mexes. That's certainly good, but over here, better spot to drop generally because production is likely to be in this base or maybe towards the middle. Certainly on this side. So could potentially do a lot of damage. And Mephi's over here stealing mass. He's going to take his chances with the ACU. He has some HP to work with. He's going to steal some mass and then he's going to leave. And Montana sends his air in ahead of the transport. And that's going to ensure that the drop lands. And he's going to do some damage. This factory may go up before the Mantis are here. And I think Mephi's done a better job with the reclaim here. Somehow, he could have gone badly for him, but he made it work, and going to the top with his AC was actually quite good. And now we have a Jester out as well. So the air really going to be abused by Montana. That's going to be very good for him. The factory does finish. That means it's not going to be a slow retake of those mexes should he lose them. Or, well, he is going to lose some anyway, or has already. We'll see how many he loses. But he will be able to rebuild them quite quickly. Now we have 2 Jesters out now. And Mephi is definitely going to have to run away from this. And he's also going to have to add more air build power. You can see him immediately doing that. He's going to throw that factory up and start assisting it, getting more inties out. No T2 land. 20% actually for Montana going T2 land now. And Mephi started just a bit after him as well. Let's see where that factory is. Here it is, getting some assists as well. That's good, and adjacent to a T2 Max. So ACU is under a lot of pressure now. And the Inties keeping guard. He's running away, and the Jesters can't do. Well, they don't have the greatest DPS, but Mephi can survive 2 of them. There's now Mobile A coming over, and they will take care of the gunships unless they retreat. Now he could fly in here and re-raid over here as well. That would be a nice move. Maybe he will do that. But Mephi's production is now far superior in terms of inti production. You can see a lot of assists on this factory, some on this, and so Mephi should be winning air quite shortly. And we only have 3 T2 mechs so far. And Mephi's lost map control. He did some raiding here, killed these mexes, but now he's been pushed off of this. And although he did get more reclaim, quite a lot more reclaim in fact, he is going to lose mexes, and it looks like he's behind on T2 mexes as well. You can see 5 for Montana. So Montana doing quite well, and generally a very even game right now. So let's see what the plan is with the T2 land, what units will we see. And the Jesters do come in over here to do some raidings and take out some mexes. But the Jesters will die. And Montana still, even with that less production. I think maybe he's not mass stalling as much as Mephi, so his air is pretty decent. And well, he could have perhaps kept those gestures alive a bit longer considering these inties, but they go down. They did some damage. Another air factory added. And Mephi is making T2 on his ACU. Wants to be ready to put up defenses should Montana go for some kind of push. And that's a drop into the base here. No upgrading mexes, unfortunately for him. That's kind of unlucky. You would actually expect a couple of these mexes to be upgrading, but no such luck. And Mephi has built quite a sizable T1 army now, in lieu of extra T2 mexes. Now he's going to lose one of these to the drop. Very nice drop for Montana. And T2 PGen going up. And a lot of assist on air, so we should probably see T2 air from Mephi, I would think, considering he keeps adding more build power to this factory. Damn, these Mantis been very, very worthwhile. T2 Mex went down, and a T1 Mex. And maybe another T1 Mex will go down, we shall see. Another drop coming in fact. Will this one land? There's Inties and a MA, and it won't land. That's a mass delivery, unfortunately. There's actually still some mass reclaim here. You can see the blazes. And that's a bit messy. We have a bit too much reclaim left around here on both sides of the map. Like this should be gone. And certainly this around Montana's ACU should be scooped up. Montana now adding a lot. Oh, this is a bit of a mistake. You don't really want to add this much. Very expensive. But he is adding some anti-air. He's kind of afraid of air right now. There still is no T2 air, however, from Mephi. So maybe adding defense a bit early. And also, yeah, I hope he cancels this. It's far too much. Each of these towers is 150 mass. So that is quite a lot of mass going to be spent there. Now, we'll deny drops. But before T2 air is even here, it's certainly too early. And actually T3 land, so no T2 land units seem to be coming out at all. And instead, T1 factory is being recycled, and we're going T3 land for Mephi. T3 land is already on the way for Montana. Mephi leading the way handsomely on reclaim. He has, wow, 12k to 7.6, but if we look at generated mass, far more for Montana. He's been ecoing very nicely, and total mass, Montana is ahead. So quite interesting there how far behind Mephi was, considering how far ahead in reclaim he was, and that really is down to the loss of map control. And when he regains the map control now, you can see he's actually taken the lead in map control and taken the reclaim from the sides of the map where he had left some behind. He still has more to get. Actually dropping engineers on these patches of reclaim, which is very nice. And he still has a much larger T1 army. But in return, Montana has the mexes. And these ones are very exposed. Once you start upgrading on this side of the map, you have to be very careful, very cognizant of what's around the place. And we have a TML. It's actually been spotted very well by Montana, but I don't see any TMD. Where is it? Oh, here's one. There's a single TMD. So this mech's not protected. This mech's perhaps not protected either. I think not. And then over here on this side of the map, 3 T2 mechs is unprotected. I think he can hit the back one. Oh, he can't, in fact. So that one's safe at least, but certainly good targets for Mephi's TML. And he has 3 loaded. Needs to start firing those, because it has been spotted already, almost immediately. And T2 air almost finished as well. T3 land almost finished. Now, how is he going to make use of T2 land, or T3 land and T2 air? We shall see. Montana is still building quite a lot of T1 and trying to push back, regain map control. He does not have air control at all. See Mephi with a very nice air force. And T2 Max is going down before the TMD can come up. It's not good. 2 dead already. 3 dead. This one launching now. It's 3 dead T2 Maxes. And let's see, will this one hit? It will. Ouch. That's 4 dead T2 Maxes. 1800 massive damage. Or actually, no. 3600 massive damage. Done. And Loyalists are the unit of choice for both players on T3 land. T2 upgrade for Montana as well. He could walk. He could walk across here and just build a TMD right in front of the TML, and that would actually cover almost everything. And if he had 2 TMD here, that would for sure cover the entire base. So I don't think he had T2 at the time when those first missiles were launching. I'm not sure if he did. But that would be the way to deal with it. And now we actually have Corsairs flying in. That was... what the fuck? He just fired directly across and killed an engineer, alright. Well, what is he attacking? T2MX? Oh, he's hitting a T2PD. Strange target, I would say. Because it doesn't look like he's going to be pushing in at all. Actually, I'm not sure why we have all of these T2PDs in front of Montana's base. Exactly. He's looking now to hit the TMD in the base with the Corsairs, and you can see the split missile of the Cybran. Once it gets hit once with the TMD, it splits into 3 missiles, which you then have to shoot down with TMD. So 2 of the missiles hit there and did about half the damage to the T2 mech, so it is actually worth shooting through TMD with Cybran TML in a few cases. If you can still get 2 missiles through, it's a very good damage still. And T2 drops. Loyalists have arrived in the base. This mech that was killed by TML is being upgraded and it gets killed instantly. And we have more that are surely going to go down now. Loyalists running quickly across to try and stop any more T2 mechs from going down, but this could hurt. Oh no. That one's upgrading to T3. It's 40%. No, don't allow it. Now here you need to run in front of the mechs with try and block it with the Loyalist, but either way he saves it just about. He doesn't save the one at the back. That's the T2 mech's gone down as well. One upgrading, 1 T2 mechs, and the one going to T3 at least survived. That's good for Montana, but you can see the eco game is completely reversed. All this time Mephi has been doing very nice damage, very efficient damage, especially this TML, just really massive damage from that. And it's also now very hard to kill with a shield over it. Well, relatively hard, a lot harder than it was a couple of minutes ago. And so this is always going to be a threat as well, so even later in the game Mephi can try and snipe some TMD once Montana may have forgotten about the TML. And so Mephi completely switched this around. Montana was doing very well, but Mephi did such nice damage, and behind that just kept on ecoing and has really passed out Montana completely. Look at this, 40 mass ahead in generated eco. And looks like Mephi wins air as well. And Montana's in a pretty bad situation. How is he going to come back from this game? He has T2R of his own, but it's going to be difficult to make use of it with all of these interceptors. Maybe a stealth drop could get past. And also making a T3 gen quite quickly. Let's see what his economy is like. I guess he maybe will go T3 air, but even then will be a bit tricky. He'll have to win air back, have to win air with ASF, so he'll have to build a few of those before he can really make use of T3 air. It's going to cost him a lot of mass as well. And now this land battle very much in Mephi's favor. Loyalists and a lot of T1 versus, well, a similar composition but simply less. And immediately Mephi drops T2 transport full of engineers to get the reclaim. And so it's time to run away for Montana. Anything that dies here is going straight into Mephi's pockets. So where is Mephi's T3 mechs then? Because this one is complete. But even with that T3 mechs, it helped him catch up a huge amount, but still, Montana has a ways to go. And he also really needs, oh, he actually has more TMD. Maybe this mech is still not protected, unfortunately. That would be sad if that died. But now, Mephi looking very good. And he has a superior Loyalist force. And we haven't seen any switch to bricks. And I don't see any stealth mixed in here, unfortunately. That would be quite nice. Could help a lot. Commander moving back towards the middle to try and just close this choke off. And actually, a spider bot started by Montana. So it's going to be interesting to see how long it takes him to make this. He has some mass in the bank, but certainly a lot less than necessary for a spider. It costs 20,000 mass. It got a slight mass cost increase in the patch. And the build time is a bit larger as well. Not double, because it is really supposed to be sort of rushed experimental, but it is increased nevertheless. Just not quite increased as much. It's not double. It's about, I'm not sure, 70% more perhaps. And look at this, Mephi just gobbling up all the reclaim, all these engineers. Greedy little fuckers. Take it all. Actually, oh, this is just so mean. A stealth field goes up in mid in this little choke, and he's going to build TMLs so that Montana doesn't see them coming. And then maybe we will see him also snipe some TMD, and he can snipe TMD with extra TMLs. Looks like he's actually going to just build one here instead of 3. Yes, if you build a few extra TMLs, you can then just take out the TMD one by one and then attack the mexes behind. So at some point you sort of need your TMD under shields. This would be a bit quick to have it at this point, which is why Mephi's going for this. Oh, that's going for the commander. Montana. Oh, look at the reactions. Nice from Montana. He saw that one coming and reacted very well. That could have been half his health gone in a flash. So he skillfully dodges and throws up a TMD so that he can sit there chilling in peace. First T3 gen for Mephi, quite a lot later than Montana. And Montana now putting a bit more build power onto the monkey. It's already quite a ways along, 37%, and he really is capped by mass here. Probably should not be building. Yeah, he has stopped building that T3 gen. This looks like a bad fight to take. Oh, he spots the TML though. That would be worth sniping, and then he should really retreat, because again, this mass that he's fighting, well, the mass he's going to lose in this fight and drop on the ground is going to be taken by Mephi. And the TML is still alive. I think he'd go in and snipe it here. There it goes. It's quite good. You can also take out these mexes. How are these alive? That's quite funny. Unfortunately, as he's moving back and forth, his his units are sort of splitting up and going into a bad formation. You see, actually, just being static with your army is often more effective because your units will actually have a much better formation when they're stationary. It's Rambo engineer reclaiming behind enemy lines. Oh, that's bad. No TMD for this guy, and yeah, you can see much better formation here. All the units, a lot more units can fire at once. But when he's microing back and forth, he really his units split up, and they get, see, like this, very spread out, and so only a few units are shooting at once, and he's going to lose the fight. I think he had similar number, probably had less anyway, but the micro sort of worked against him, dodging back in and out. Didn't really help too much. And look, all the reclaim, it's just instant reclaim for Mephi every fight here. And now Montana is actually in danger here of dying to the Loyalists. See his, yeah, you can see he has 24,000 in energy storage. That's to allow him to overcharge units, which would be, it'll cost more to overcharge thanks to the recent overcharge changes. It's gonna be more expensive to overcharge Loyas. And the Monkey Lord's finished. I actually don't know how long that took, but it took quite a while. And I think the main problem was not the build power really, but he was stalling mass. Maybe should have recycled some things, like a lot of this T1 power. And he is retaking control here. You can see Mephi just retreats now. Now I don't know if he knows the Monkey Lord is finished, but he already has the reclaim here. So even whether he knows the Monkey Lord is there or not, he doesn't actually need to fight anymore, because he's afraid of overcharges, and he doesn't lose anything by retreating, because he already stole all the mass. So being safe, keeping his army alive. And now he should know that there's a spider here. So those guns are quite distinctive. Never mind the laser, everyone knows about those long range guns are very well known. And now the laser fires and the inties fly overhead. Oh, Montana loses his air again. It's quite sad for him. But he has a flak. Look at how fast that flak just killed so many interceptors. 21 kills. That's one way to counter the Inti horde. But it really is down to Montana Spider. If he doesn't push through, kill this whole army, then I think it is game over. Mephi has so much more mass, so much more reclaim. And now we get to see how the T3 units do against the Spider bot. Oh, it's not going to be a fair fight. A lot of Corsairs come in and take off 15,000 HP in one pass. And now the Loyas move in. They no longer stun the Spider bot, but they stun all of the Loyalists with it. And there's just too many units. The Spider is going to go down. Oh, it gets a vet level, so it's going to do a bit more damage, but more Corsairs enter the picture. And there it goes. And there's still a significant T3 army here that's going to control this area. And Montana is not going to have access to this mass. Not sure how this mechs over here died. Oh, it may have been a strap bomber. I think it was by the decal. But I think the game is now completely over with all this mass left on Mephi's side and no army to contest Mephi's. The Spider is going to come too late. And Montana control Ks. Well played by Mephi. Montana had a very good first 10-15 minutes, and really was significantly in the lead. But just this TML, I think that was the main difference, doing a lot of damage, and then yeah, Mephi did very nice damage with that, and also did a drop back here with Loyalists, and really caught up in economy and just continued ecoing quite heavily. Kind of ran away with it. I think Montana, well, I think this T3P gen was probably a mistake, the first one. Probably did not need to make that. That's quite a big investment. And he didn't immediately go T3 Air or something after that. Probably could have subsisted on an extra T2P gen or two and had a bit more eco. And the Spider ultimately, well, he was already too far behind by that point. Mephi had a very big T3 Army and T2 Air support. Those Corsairs did a lot of damage very quickly. So, well played. And thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're trying some new stuff thanks to the patch. And send me some replays if you have them. And I hope you, yeah, catch me next time. See ya.